Okay, Anastasia Pagonis, welcome to the podcast. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you. Where are you coming from?
Long Island, New York. Where are you?
I'm actually in Delaware, Middletown, Delaware, so I'm not too far from you.
Yeah.
You know, close enough, a lot closer than Australia. I know that. I should be
Yeah.
down under. Now, have you ever been to Australia?
I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was amazing. Actually, every time anyone asks me my favorite place that I've traveled with Team USA, it's Australia. I loved it there.
Why did you guys end up going down there?
We had a World Series down there,
Mhm.
and it was amazing. We got to go to the zoo and pet the koalas and
Mm,
feed the kangaroos. It
mm.
was insane. The day after I fed the kangaroos, I ate a kangaroo. And I know that y'all love it, but oh, that just hit the spot somehow. I don't know. Thinking about how I ate that made me sad.
Yeah, I know. It's like eating like deer or something. You know, they're cute little animals, but you know, there's millions of them down there. So eating one or two is not too bad.
That's true.
Now, listen. Congratulations on your performance. You know, coming away with gold and a world record and a bronze at the Paralympics last year. That was outstanding for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was a special moment.
Yeah, I was watching your race a few minutes ago in the 400 freestyle where you got the world record. You dropped a lot of time in that. That's outstanding. It's pretty tough to do in an Olympic final or Paralympic final as well. Like when the pressure is on like that. Were you expecting to swim your best time right there and then?
I was expecting to swim and finish my race. That's kind of like the amount of pressure that I put on myself because even though there's no crowds, it's a very overwhelming thing. And I feel like not a lot of people understand what the mental is
Yep.
behind it, and they
Right.
don't really get that, but it's very overwhelming. And for my first Paralympic Games and it being my first race, yeah, it was very stressful. My prelim swim was not what I wanted it to be, so I knew that I had to come back and show off for finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, just in terms of classification, that's the word I'm looking for. The classification that you're in, explain to us how you're classified.
Yeah, exactly. So S1 to S10 is physical impairments, and then S11 to S13 is visual. So S13 is like the least amount of vision, S12 is more vision, and then S13 is the least visually impaired. So I've been through all of the classifications,
Mm.
and right now I am an S11. And in my classification, we all have different vision. So some of us have shapes, shadows, others have no light perception, and some of them have no eyes, like prosthetic eyes. So we all wear blackout goggles to make the playing field fair. So before we go in for our race, we get our goggles checked, and right when we get out of the pool, our goggles are checked.
Oh, interesting. So, in other categories of the Paralympics where I watch the athletes compete, you're not really certain who wins the race based on, you know, certain things that they have to take into account. But with your race, you know, touching the wall first means you won. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you swam that 400, I mean, you destroyed the field. It was an incredible win. It was
Thank you.
by like at least 15 to 20 meters that you won that race by. So that's a pretty dominating swim.
Thank you. I knew that I had really good competition from the Netherlands. She was originally the world record holder, and I knew I was going up against some tough competition, but I knew that I worked hard, and this is what I was here for, you know?
Yeah. So why the 400 for you? What is it about the 400 that suits you really well?
Yeah. For me, if you saw my 50 or my 100, I'm not a great sprinter. My body's just not great at getting up and just moving. I love distance. I love holding that really strong pace. And for me, if I miss a wall in my 400, it's not 100 where I'm losing 3-4 seconds and I have no time to make up for it. So in my 400, if I have a bad wall or I miss a turn, I have a little bit of time to make up for it. I mean, not a lot, but a little bit. And I don't know. I just love the 400. It's not too much. It's not too little. It's just It's right there.
Yeah, I did see actually on that last wall, you jammed it a bit, and then the commentators were saying, "Oh, that could have cost her the world record, but it wasn't so bad that it was a complete mess." But you certainly got stuck on the wall a little bit.
I did.
Um,
My ankles actually hit
mm,
the wall a little. Thank God it
oh,
wasn't like bad, but yeah. Sometimes
how do you know that if you're on pace for a world record then like that?
you don't. You kind of just
Hmm.
wing it. I mean, me and my coach work on a lot of pace work. So if I got in the pool right now and he told me to go like, I don't know, pace mile, and he wanted me to hold like 34s, I could probably get in the water and hold close to 34s just because I have that like feeling. I feel like all swimmers kind of do.
Yeah,
But yeah, a lot of hard work and a lot of pace work.
yeah, no doubt. How do you manage to swim straight? Because you do a really good job of that. I saw some of your competitors were struggling a little bit. It must be difficult, but obviously just the training that you do helps with that. But when you're under pressure like that, in an environment like that, there's a lot going on to manage to be able to swim in a straight line must be fairly difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of muscle memory. My coach is amazing, and he pretty much taught me how I would be able to swim. So he blacked out his own goggles and was figuring out a way to teach me. Also, Brad Snyder really helped me figure out kind of the technique of doing it. So I use the lane line kind of as my guide.
Mm,
So as for sighted people, they use the black line on the bottom of the pool, and the T, I pretty much just use the lane line.
right. Who was your spotter at the Paralympics? There's somebody at the end of the lane, right, that has kind of a longer stick with a ball on it to kind of let you know where the wall is. Who does that for you at that?
In Tokyo, it was the head coach and the assistant coach. So I had Nathan and Kim, and
Okay.
they were great and very helpful.
Right, right. And then I saw like at the end when you had swum a certain time and broken the world record, your coach ran up to tell you. Who was your coach actually?
My coach, actually, my main coach wasn't able to come to Tokyo
Oh,
because of
okay.
the restrictions and everything.
Mm.
So we just had the USA coaches, which they're amazing, but it's not the same than having your actual coach.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. So who is your coach? He had to stay back. Who's that?
Yeah, Marc Danin. He
Right.
is amazing. For someone that's never worked with people with disabilities or someone who's blind, he really put himself in my shoes and took me on. And I am so thankful for him.
How long have you been with Mark for?
I've been with Marc for almost 4 years
Oh,
now.
wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
pretty much from the time that this progressed,
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
where you are now.
Yeah, he was the first person I got back in the pool with. And right when I got in the water for the first time, it was quite a mess. I
Mm.
was like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. And we both went our separate ways. We were like, no. And then he called me the next day and he told me that he figured it out. He was going to teach me how to swim and that we could do this. And we
Wow.
did.
Wow. Well, that's pretty outstanding. Well, let's go back a little bit then, because obviously this is something that seemed to have progressed. I mean, you weren't born blind, but it did develop around about the age of 11, did it start?
Yeah, so I started, my mom started noticing some just problems with me that a normal child wouldn't be like. So
Like
it
what? Give us an example.
I don't even know. She was just like noticing little things. I guess like me
Bumping into
reading,
walls.
yeah, bumping into walls. She just said, okay.
Mm.
um, just like bumping into walls. I was a soccer player. I would get kicked in the face with the ball a lot more than a normal person. Um, so I guess
So
just
other people noticed more than you initially then?
it was my normal. So I
Right.
never really noticed anything. So when someone would point somewhere and be like, "Do you see that person over there?" I'd be like, "Are you magical? How are you seeing a person there? Like,
Oh,
what person are you talking about?"
oh,
So it was kind of my normal, and I just thought that everyone saw like that, which
right.
they didn't. So we got a bunch of testing done, and I came back with a genetic disease that was taking away all of my central vision.
Mm. How long did the testing take? I mean, I know that can be a process sometimes, and they don't want to diagnose you too early. So that obviously, there's time and energy that goes into this and making sure that it's absolutely correct. But
Yeah.
what kind of things were you going through to get this testing done?
Yeah, actually, when I was younger, I was misdiagnosed. And then when I went back when I lost all of my usable vision at 14, we went back for like the in-depth testing. And I got diagnosed with my actual genetic disease and then 2 autoimmune retinopathies. So my immune system thinks that my retina is bad and like eats it up. And we were in, oh my goodness, we were in the doctor's office for like 13 hours a day, every day for like probably like 2 months. It was very interesting. Yeah, we had to do like eyesight, blood, neurological things, just anything that you could think of, because they wanted to actually figure out what was going on.
Right.
But my doctors are amazing. We go to UPenn, which is a little bit of a hike for us, but it's worth it. They're amazing there.
Is there any hope right now of it ever changing from where it is now? Like there's no, science out there that says we can kind of rebuild this or anything like that at the moment?
I mean, it's coming. We're making so much process. There's so many different things that we're gonna try to do.
Yeah.
There's things like red light therapy, and I mean, it's 2022. They're gonna figure out something at some point. I mean, they're self-driving cars. We'll figure something out.
Right. So I also did see an interview with you where you said you went into kind of a deep depression, almost even suicidal. I mean, it's obviously tragic for somebody to say, all right, you're never going to see again, and then you've got to learn to deal with that pretty quickly. So like, talk to me about how that hit, because you did say this was a progression for you and it's something that you're learning to live with, but at some point I guess it hits you pretty hard of like, oh wow, I'm never going to see again. Is that correct?
Yeah, it just kind of got thrown at me. I was expecting to not lose all of my vision. I was told that I was just going to lose my central vision, and then not having any usable vision, it was just kind of a shock. And I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck like this. Like, if I'm going to be like this, what's the point of me being here? I just thought that I was a burden on everyone, and that why would I want to be like this?
Yeah.
So I went into a really deep depression, but my family and my support system are amazing. I mean, my parents forced me to get out of the house and just walk for like 5 minutes a day. And my goal was to eat like 1 smoothie a day, because when you're in a depression like that, you don't want to eat, you don't want to move, you don't want to do anything. So my support system definitely really is what helped me through that. But I kind of was just like, okay, I don't want to be stuck in this place anymore. I got to get out of this, because I missed my old self, and I wasn't going to let that be taken away from me. And then I kind of started social media with that too.
Swim Angelfish. Swim Angelfish is an online certification program that strengthens your teaching curriculum to serve swimmers of all abilities. Swim Angelfish will prepare you and your instructors with the skills to teach swimmers with autism, physical disabilities, anxiety, sensory and motor conditions, and more. Learn to teach skills faster and with more comfort with Swim Angelfish. Apply for an Only Alpha Pool Product Scholarship and receive up to 50% off your certification. Go to swimangelfish.com today to apply.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw where your dad had said, you've always been this type of person where you light up the room, and then that was kind of taken away a little bit, and then it kind of got reignited. So like, I guess, how did you make the decision? Because you're, like you said, social media is a big thing for you now. You're a TikTok star, you're huge on Instagram, and so you've got this outlet, I guess, for you. Is that kind of the way you looked at it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think making fun of myself is really important. If you look through my TikToks, the majority of them are like dark humor, and I'm literally just like making fun of myself. And then having like deep conversations with people on Instagram and kind of just pouring my life out, it just makes me feel better, and hopefully it'll help someone else.
Yeah, we have a mutual friend in Tucker Dupree, and Tucker is similar in the sense that he's got that internal blindness. I guess he can see out on the outside, the peripheral, but he's a good friend of mine, and he's kind of got the same dark humor as you, in terms of like making fun of it, making light of the situation, things like that. Has he been a support for you?
Oh my goodness, he has been amazing. On my first trip, he kind of just took me under his wing and helped me through everything. I was originally classified as an S13, and in Italy, I was classified down to an S12. And I was sobbing because I was like, no, like that means my vision's getting worse. And, it just kind of hit me hard. And he's like, look at me, like I'm an S12, aren't I pretty cool? And I was like, oh my God, he's so cool. I want to be like him. And we were in the same classification. He made me feel better. And I was like, look at this guy. Like, he's a Paralympian and I could be like him. So he also really helped me with swimming and kind of trying to figure out how I can do this and everything. He's a great guy.
We also have another mutual friend, Lizzie Smith, and she was part of the Europe Paralympic team last year, and she's an outstanding person as well. How do you relate to each other? You know, you've all got these different kind of, you would say, disabilities, but you don't look at it that way. You just look at it as you're all, you know, people competing, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all consider each other just people, and we're all athletes, and we're all there to swim. And I feel like all of us having a disability, we're kind of able to make fun of each other and be like, hey, like, stop walking into things, or like, where's your leg? You know, like little jokes that we can just goof around with each other. So yeah, I love Lizzie too. She's so sweet.
Yeah, Lizzie's awesome. She's outstanding, and she does a little bit of clinic work with us, like swim clinics, and she gets amazing reviews, and the kids love her. And
I'm not surprised.
yeah, she's awesome. So I did see where you kind of said you hated the statement, you don't look blind, and you're trying to, you know, you say, well, what does blind look like? You know, that's kind of how you address it. So like, what do you want people to know?
Yeah, I feel like Hollywood kind of puts a stereotype on blindness where you have to look a certain way and act a certain way, where you have the dark sunglasses and you walk around like a zombie and you just have no idea what's going on. And I want to break down that stereotype and show people that I can be an elite athlete, I can wear makeup, I can dress cute, I can do all these things, and I'm blind. So kind of just showing people that, and that less than 10% of the blind community are completely blind with no light perception. And I feel like a lot of people think that blindness is just blackness, and they don't really understand that that's only 10%.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what is it for you then? Is it blackness, or is there shadows? You said that you can see a little bit.
Yeah. So I technically have no usable vision. So when I'm in the pool, nothing's really helpful for me.
Right.
But I have like light perception and shadows.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. So, you know, I can relate in some way, not to the same extent. So don't get me wrong by any means, but I've said this a couple of times. Like growing up, I had very severe asthma as a kid, and I spent the first 5 years of my life pretty much in and out of hospital dealing with severe asthma. And for a very long period of my time, my childhood, I looked at myself as somebody that had a disability, somebody that couldn't do the things that other people could do. Like I couldn't play with my friends. I couldn't have fun. You know, I was always in fear that my next asthma attack was going to happen. So I lived in fear, and the fear controlled me. It wasn't until I became a little bit older, about the age of 10, where I was like, I can't live like this. This has to end. Like, asthma is not me. It's just part of me. It's not who I am. It's just part of who I am. And so I took back that control, and I looked at it as something that I could absolutely control. It didn't control me. I kind of just flipped the switch on it. And so I guess that's kind of similar to what you've done here, of like changing your mindset of the way that you're going to live your life.
Yeah, exactly. And like you're saying, I feel like it has to come from you. I mean, obviously people around you can encourage you and help you, but it really has to like come from you. You have to kind of take that step and just be yourself and have that be kind of just part of you and a side piece.
Yeah. What about, do you still have bad days? Do you still have days where you wake up and like Paul me type attitude? Like, do you still have it?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, even going to swimming, not recently, but going to swimming, I have my parents and my coach there that have to tap me. And I want to be able to go and be independent and do it by myself. And it's frustrating because I can't. I mean, I just had a mental breakdown the other day because I wanted to go to the supermarket and I wanted something sweet and I couldn't drive there and just get it by myself. Right. So just little things that are frustrating that there's just nothing we could do about, you know? You just got to be happy and make the best of it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we all have stuff in our life that we've got to deal with, but it sounds like you attack it with as positive attitude as you possibly can. I did see somewhere too where they said that you have a guide dog named Radar. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. He's the best. I think he's behind me.
Oh, Radar's back there somewhere. But now, why weren't you able to take Radar to the Paralympics?
Great question. Hey, Paralympics, if you'd like to let me know that, I'd like to know. They did. I had no idea. They just told me that I was not allowed to take him. So it's a little bit of an issue.
That sounds like a big issue, doesn't it? Isn't that like like Radar would be a huge part of your life, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like I lost my vision once, and then them not letting me take radar, I feel like I kind of got my vision taken away from me again because he's my eyes. So if they'd like to let me know, that'd be great.
When did you find out? Like how long before you went?
I was planning on taking him, and I think me and my parents were like sending emails back and forth, and we were told that I was not allowed to take him. And we were like, wait, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. Why
Right.
not? But it's okay. I got through it. I did it. I'm back. I'm alive. It's fine.
Well, how did you get through it? Who helped you?
All the teammates. I mean, my teammates are amazing, especially my roommate, Gia. She was such a help. We're both blind, so it was definitely an interesting look. But we helped each other. We may or may not have fell down a few flights of steps, but it's okay. And yeah, just all the teammates. I feel like we're all kind of there for each other and help each other the best that we can.
Well, listen, you are, a star on, like I said, TikTok and Instagram and things like that. How do you go about doing this? Who helps you with this?
Yeah, I mean, my mom is like, I call her my momager. She helps me with everything. She's the best. But phones and technology is so amazing now. So there's something called voiceover, and it pretty much reads your whole screen to you, which is pretty amazing. And I kind of scroll through TikTok and think of audios that might be cool, and then think of ideas, and it just kind of comes to me.
Well, it sounds like you have a big part in it too, but there's not a lot of mums out there who are technologically savvy, you know?
My mom's better than me. My mom is so helpful with all of it.
She is. Oh, that's awesome. So
Thank
she
God.
just jumped in. Yeah, because your videos and stuff are incredible. I'm not on TikTok, but I've seen a couple of the things that you produce, and they're really well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that would be my mom.
Well, Mom, congrats. Keep it up. That's cool. Well, what kind of response have you got from that? You know, you're putting yourself out there and exposing yourself, and that can be a positive and a negative sometimes. Have you experienced both of those things?
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of negative, but I also get a lot of positive. So I definitely have my true supporters that really love me, and they're very supportive, and they just want the best for me. And then I get the people that just come across my video, have no idea who I am, don't care about me at all, and they ask stupid questions and have like just stupid comments. I get comments like, how do you eat if you're blind? How do you get dressed if you're blind? Like, are you not thinking with your head? Like,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
Yeah. Well, I guess those people just haven't had any contact with a blind person, maybe, or something like that. They're just ignorant, you know?
They're very ignorant. That's the perfect word. They're very ignorant.
Yeah, ignorance. So I guess this is a way to show people that you can do anything you want to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more then about your training. Let's get specific on that a bit. So what is it exactly? How often are you training? And what does it look like for you?
Yeah. So right now I train. Right now I'm doing 8 practices a week and 2 lifts. It's good. My coach tries to incorporate a lot of everything, which is good. Even though I'm mainly a distance swimmer, he tries to get the I am a little bit up there, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's okay. But yeah, he's so helpful with me, and he pushes me to my limits. Sometimes I start crying. You know, all swimmers do, but you do what you got to do.
Now you're in a group, I guess, with able-bodied athletes, people that can see and moving pretty quick. How do they handle the group dynamics?
Yeah, I mean, my teammates are amazing. They're always looking out for me. I always get the, all right, ready, go. They're telling me when to go, what's going on, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I swim either in my own lane or with one other person, and we split the lane. And everyone's so helpful. They're always looking out for me to make sure I'm okay. And right now I'm practicing with sprinklers instead of tappers, so that my coach can actually coach the team instead of tapping me. So it's pretty much a sprinkler that shoots down to about where the tee is. And once I feel it, I know that the wall's coming up, and I do my flip and I go.
Are you in a short course yards pool?
Yeah, short course yards. I wish I was in long course meters. Oh.
Do you ever get to swim long course meters or train it?
No, I never get to train it, but I compete it, which I love. I love long course. Less walls.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a big difference there between short course swimming for anybody and long course. So how did you adapt? How do you know that you're on, let's say, world record pace, but because you've never trained the long course meters?
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely very hard. While I was in Tokyo, I was there for 2.5, 3 weeks before I even competed. So definitely a lot of pace training before that. And instead of training for a 400, we were training for like a 500 and more, so that I would kind of have that feel for it. So training for like my 50 free, we were training 75s and 100s, just so that I had all the power I could give, and I wouldn't be run down.
Right.
And dying on the last few meters, even though I still was, but it's okay.
Well, no, it seemed like you attacked the last 5 meters. It seemed like I said, you got jammed on that last wall, and then it was like, all right, I've got to stay on this. To me, it looked like you knew that you were under world record pace, and you were fighting for every 100th, every 10th of a second that you could get at the end there.
Yeah, I was trying. Actually, in my 100 free, I got out-touched by 0.2, which, I mean, if I could see, I probably would have gotten that 0.2 because you're racing the person next to you, but I had no idea like where the people were next to me. So it's like, if I touch the wall a little different, if I kicked a little harder. So I was like, I have to give it everything I have. Like, I am not losing this by 0.2.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a dog myself. I have a puppy, and she just messed with my camera. So my camera just went a little wonky. So I apologize for everybody that was watching me trying to adjust my camera there. My dog sat on my camera screen.
Oh, what kind of puppy?
I have a Spanish water dog. Her name is Luna, and she's a great dog, but yeah, she's always under my feet. She follows me around. I guess she's like your dog, like Radar, a little guide dog. She follows me everywhere. So
I know. I was at Lyft the other day, and we were doing like vertical jumps, and I hit him, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to get away from me! Like, you can't be so close to me."
what does Radar do when you're in the pool?
He sits either in my coach's office on the couch, or he sits like right by the pool.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, listen, I appreciate getting to know you a little bit more. What's the next thing for you? What's the plan for the future?
Yeah, actually, next week I will be competing in Indianapolis for trials for hopefully to compete in Portugal at Worlds. So yeah, fingers crossed for that.
When will the Worlds be?
Worlds is in June.
Okay, so it's coming up pretty quick then.
Yeah, it is coming up pretty quick. I'm excited. It should be good.
Do you feel like you're in the same type of form you were in Tokyo last year, or have you improved at all?
I think I'm definitely improving. I think that my walls are getting a lot better, and I'm getting more comfortable with coming into the walls quicker. If you see, I kind of slow down once I'm getting closer into the flags, just from fear, because I've hit my head and my hands so many times on the walls. Right. But I'm definitely getting more confident with it, and I feel like I'm just becoming a better and stronger swimmer, I would say, and using every stroke to make sure that it counts.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you used this, or do you view this now as a blessing in disguise in any way? Like, are you thankful that this happened to you? Like, is that a silly thing to say?
I feel like it's opened a lot of doors for me, but it's also closed a lot of doors.
Right.
But I don't know if I would say I'm thankful for it, but I feel like I'm getting there. Ask me that in a few years, and I'll let you know.
Okay, right, yeah. You're coming to terms with it more and more. It seems like you're in a really good place with it. And look, you're influencing a lot of people in terms of changing the way they think about this. So you are doing a fantastic job with that. Where can people find you? Tell us about your social media platforms. Where do they find you?
Yeah, I'm on I think I'm on everything. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, and all of my handles are Anastasia_K_P.
Okay, great. Well, I want you to gain a couple more followers. You got thousands of them, so you don't need my help. But you're doing fantastic work. Is this something you want to continue swimming for a long time? What's the plan? What's the long-term future?
Yeah, my goal is I'm taking it step by step, day by day, practice by practice. Right. But my goal is hopefully to compete until LA 2028.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And on our turf,
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fantastic. How old will you be by then?
Oh my goodness. How old will I be then?
That's another, 5 years away, is it?
Oh my goodness, I'm still going to be pretty young, 24. Maybe
yeah.
one more.
Oh, yeah. You could go to Australia. Australia's in 32, so.
Okay. There we go. We're doing it.
Go down to Brisbane. Well, as a distance swimmer, you still got a lot of yards to add up. So, be careful with that. Maybe you come down to the 50s and 100s by then.
Oh, gosh, no. I've already retired from the 50.
Oh, it's too short?
It's not for me. I
Okay.
didn't do great in it in Tokyo, and just not for me.
Yeah, you'll get older and stronger though. You'll figure it out. Then what about you? Tell me about that real quick. Your strength training. What do you do in the gym?
Yeah, we do pretty much everything. I mean, it's a full body workout. The guys that are there are very helpful with me. So no box jumping, no things that I could injure myself with,
Right.
but just building a lot of strength because that's super important. Working on pull-ups. I need to
Yep.
work on pull-ups.
Yep. That'll get you 50 going. Get stronger there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, listen, you got a great outlook. Very positive. You sound like you've really in a good place for yourself, which is the most important thing. But you're influencing a lot of people. So congratulations. Keep it up. Outstanding work in the pool. I mean, to be a world record holder is such an achievement in such a short amount of time. I hope for many more of those in your future. Okay.
I hope so. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Anastasia. Take care. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
We individualize training in the pool, so why not individualize your nutrition? Erica Beine of Beine Wellness Building will help you and your swimmers get exactly what each athlete needs through genetic testing and personalized nutrition plans. So stop guessing what you should and shouldn't be putting into your body. Athletes within a few weeks have noticed they're recovering faster because they're fueling their body with what they need and staying away from what their body hates. Erica understands swimming. She gets it. She's worked with over 20 Olympians, including the fastest man in the world, Caleb Dressel. Group discounts are available, so go to Beine Wellness Building and get in touch with Erica today. That's Beine, B-E-I-N-E, wellnessbuilding.net.